Let me honor your death wish.
What is going on, guys? It's Roku back with more League of Legends content, and today we have another amazing video here that I know many of you are excited for, because this is the Sett matchup video. That's right, know your enemy for Sett. How do I know that this is a video you guys want to see? Basically, I get asked questions about matchups often, right? Like how I should play into this matchup, Illaoi, Vayne, etc, etc. And the one matchup that I keep getting asked questions about is the Sett matchup. And the thing is, like, I keep getting asked the same exact questions about how do you play against him, right? How do you not get beaten by him? How do you kill him early? And I'm going to be using this video to answer every single one of those questions, because in actuality, Sett is a very easy matchup to outplay and destroy. You just have to, like, it's just kind of awkward because you permanently have to be kiting him, right? He's a bigger threat in melee range, so you have to kite him with Ghost, and if you don't, you kind of get destroyed by him, right? So this is like the video I'm going to be doing to basically explain how you can basically kill him in every single situation, right? Be sure to slap that like, comment, and subscribe buttons. It helps the channel and it encourages me to make more videos. So yeah, be sure to do that and leave a comment down below on what matchup you want and basically what kind of content you would like from the channel. Anyway, so the first things first, what runes are we running into Sett? Now there are two types of runes that we can run into Sett, right? The Resolve tree and the Sorcery tree. Now the Sorcery tree helps us outplay Sett better, right? What do I mean by this, right? Basically speaking, in the Sett matchup, we need to make use of Ghost a lot, right? And we can basically kite him better if we are the better player, right? So if you're smurfing, right? Or if you can guarantee that you're better than a Sett, or you're just a person who's better at laning than most of your laners in your current elo, like you're just confident, then you should go for Sorcery, right? Resolve, however, is more even games, right? If you're kind of on the same level as a Sett, Resolve helps you out more because Resolve helps better for lanes, right? I've explained this in more detail in my rune explanation guide, but Resolve basically helps us a lot more in lane, it helps us a lot more in more fair fights, and it helps us basically, like, be a bit more beefier, right? Like, bone plating helps us a lot more in these kinds of fights, right? So if you're kind of on the same level as the enemy Sett, or you respect them, like as a player, I mean, you respect their skill, then maybe you should go for Resolve, right? And if you're a higher elo player and you want to win the lane, maybe go Resolve, but you know, it's just preference, I guess. So, hey guys, real quick, Roku from the future here. I forgot to mention in the video that if you are struggling in a Sett matchup, or if you just want to be like, if you want to more solidify, if you want to be more secure with your lead against the Sett matchup, you should probably rush Ninja Tabis against him, because Ninja Tabis really helps us. Like, a lot of his damage is his auto attacks, and that 12% damage reduction from the auto attacks is really, really good into Sett, right? So try to build Ninja Tabis whenever you can against Sett, especially because they go Bork earlier on. I mean Bork rush, you know, first item, second item, and the Ninja Tabis or plated steel caps really helps out against that. Anyway, that's it for this little note. Back to the video. The number one thing that you should basically pay attention to, like, you know, you should probably not fight him level 2, right? And it's kind of meh, hit or miss to fight him level 3. But no matter what circumstance, do not fight him level 1, right? And this is the number one mistake Darius players do. And it's basically the reason, like, it's basically how you can throw this lane away. Because this is a lane where if you just wait, you will eventually get to a point where you can just kill him, right? And a lot of Darius players just fight the Sett level 1, they get killed, and they throw away the lane because the Sett just keeps getting more and more and more and more kills. Whereas the key in this lane is patience, not just brute forcing your way in, right? Because think about it. In earlier fights, auto attacks are the most important thing, right? So we have one ability and just auto attacks and our passive. Sett has one ability and twice the amount of auto attacks. So he has way more damage than us. And like, if you just trade auto attacks with him, he will win, right? So it's not a great idea to fight him level 1, right? That is why most of the time, you kind of want to give him prio of the early lane, right? I just queued to get the melee minions, but all I'm gonna do here is queue him for poke, right? I'm just gonna queue him for poke. I don't want to fight this guy. Even if he's a bad player, and this is my Master Tier account, even if he's a bad player, he's still gonna be able to beat me because he's Sett, right? So I'm giving up my lane, I'm chilling, I'm not doing too much, just hanging back, right? I don't want to piece of this guy. Now, what I want, like, I just queue him for poke there. He could have actually started a fight against me, but I guess he was more concerned with CS, right? Now, this is the perfect situation, right? What basically happens once we survive level 2 is that we now have our slows and we have our E, and we're basically able to, like, kite him and have more move speed than him. And that's the key thing into the Sett matchup. Sett matchup is kind of like Trinity or like Jax, where if you sit next to them and just fight them, he will win. He does way more damage with his auto attacks. But if you can kite him and make sure he can only hit you when you can hit him, right, with your abilities, with your auto attacks, then you basically just mess him up, right? So what I did here was I manipulated the lane in a certain position where I can pretty much just, like, he wants to shove this lane in, right? Because, like, he wants to shove the lane in so it pushes back to him, but I'm threatening here a permafreeze. And what this lets me do is it lets me get stacks on him without him being able to fight back to me. He has to hit the minions, right? And if you get a few stacks on a Sett, you can very easily kill him level 2, right? Now, of course, one thing you should not do against Sett level 2 is be hyper aggressive and start bullshit fights here in Essential, right? That is not what you want to do at all, because if you do that, then the Sett will straight up beat the shit out of you, get most of your HP, and you won't be able to fight back, right? You can't make these kinds of fundamental errors against Sett, because Sett is a very hit or miss champion, in that if you just walk into him, he does way too much damage and he will just one-shot you, right? So you have to just keep kiting him, because even if you do kite him, he still does a lot of damage, but he never does enough to kill you, right? If you sit in front of his face, it's a fundamental error. And I have a clip that I'll edit in here where I do that, and I just get beaten in my face. I get my face beaten in. So that's not what you want to do at all, right? So here, I had my wave perfectly. That is my bone plating, right? Like I said, the bone plating helps out a lot in these kinds of fights. That's all of his damage. He uses he uses Q. He has a long way to run. We activate our ghost. There's nothing he can do right now. He just dies here, right? Flash, Q flash, auto, W. Boom. Easy kill, right? You kind of want to do these kinds of things, and I do instantly die against the Kayn. Like, he teleports in and I get 2v1, if you were wondering. It's the way of top lane, I guess. But my team killed it, so I guess it was worth it. So that's kind of what you want to do against this Sett, right? Alright, now that we have an example of what to do against Sett, here is a very, very nice example of what not to do against Sett level 2, right? So what I should have done here is just hang back, and I should have given up the CS, right? And what I did instead was I went aggressive, and I went for the level 2, right? Look at how badly I'm kiting him here, right? What you want him to do is you want him to use his E to put you into, like, auto-attacking range. You never want to let him land, like, more than 2 punches while you're already in... Well, like, you want to make him use his E in order to land his punches onto you, right? If you let him hit you without him using his E, then he can use it later on to make sure you're not able to kite him. And that's exactly the mistake I made here, and that's exactly how he basically just murdered me, right? I did the very bad job of kiting him, which is how he managed to kill me. Level 3 onwards, it's kind of the same deal, right? Level 3, you don't want to fight him straight up, right? You want to kite him. And I'll put a clip of it right now, where I basically just kite him around like a dog and I don't let him hit me, right? You don't want to fight him face to face. Here is an example of a level 3 fight where I kited him very, very, very effectively, right? So in this, let's just watch the gameplay here first. So I start the fight, right? And you see what I did there? I RW and I walked away from him, so I forced him to use his E, right? So because I forced him to use his E, I'm now in a position to use my Q and land it onto him, right? Look at what I'm doing here. I'm just kiting him. I'm kiting him, right? He kind of messed up by not using his W, but that's only because we kited him so well that his W was about to decay, right? Because as y'all know, Sett's W, like the bar, starts decaying if he doesn't use it in, like, 4 seconds or so. And by kiting him very effectively, we're kind of putting him into a lose-lose situation where, like, you know, he has to W to basically survive. And this guy wanted to W when he was available for damage, but, you know, it was never enough. And even if we were level 3, so 100 health less than what we are right now, and even if we did let him W, keep in mind that we have flash. So what we could have done is just flash behind him or flash somewhere else and have him waste his W. And without his W, the Sett, like, he just can't do anything against us. Because it's like, we're already kiting him, right? And when you have Ghost, by the way, don't waste your Ghost against Sett. But if you have better Ghost, they can just kite him like a dog, like, far more effectively, right? So, like, you know, you really want to just kite him well and force him into these bad situations where he just has 2 choices and both of them are bad, right? And that's what I did here, right? And as a special bonus, I basically killed him so fast he didn't have time to shield, which isn't really something that a lot of Sett, it's not a mistake a lot of Setts will make, actually. And from, like, level 3 onwards, it's basically just, like, a free lane, essentially. Unless you've died to him, he can't really do too much to fight against our damage, right? Here, I was able to tank the full damage of his W, because he basically let me get 5 stacks on him without doing too much damage to me, right? Sett is a very, like, funny lane to get fed in, because once you start killing him, you just kill him over and over and over again, and he's not a mobile champion. So, like, he can't really do anything. The only thing he can do is flash behind you and ult you into his turret, right? And then you can get a few cheese kills from that, but aside from that, he just can't do anything, right? And it's just the most free, you know, circumstance for you to murder him, right? Now, if you're having problems against the Sett lane, and I have a clip for right now, you do kind of outscale him level 6. What do I mean by this, right? Around level 6, we basically have our Noxymite ultimate, and he has his ultimate, right? Now, you can't say that, you know, his ultimate makes him hard to kite, but, like, our ultimate basically gives us that extra bit of damage to basically punch through him anyway, right? So if we just do the same things that I've taught you for level 3 and level 6, you beat him down even harder, because Darius horribly outscales Sett level 6, right? It's not even, like, it's not even funny, right? If you kite him properly, if you outplay his W, and, you know, if you don't sit in front of his face and take all of his auto attacks, you will murder this guy straight up. Here is an example of how horribly Sett gets outscaled by Darius level 6, right? Look, let's just look at the gameplay, right? And I make so many mistakes, but I beat him anyway, right? Because Darius just destroys Sett level 6. Look at what I'm doing here. Look. It's like, I missed my Q there. Let's just watch it again for, like, I'll commentate it while the gameplay goes on, right? I missed my Q, right? I kite him horribly. He gets his, I pull him in, and I land his W for him, right? If anybody could see this, they would never guess that I would kill him. But what do we have here that he doesn't have? Movement speed, mobility. So we're just able to kite him around like a dog. Like, look at how I'm moving. I'm just not letting him hit me when I'm not able to hit him, right? And look at this. I walk away, he can't get another auto attack in, and I walk in, and I auto attack him first because we have better range and attack speed, whatever. Boom. Easy kill, right? And you can see at the end he even tried to walk away so that he could try to kite away from us, but we have better move speed, and he can't do anything against us, right? Darius, like, outscales Sett so hard at level 6, and if you use Ghost properly, there is nothing a Sett can do beyond level 3, but if you're kind of worse, beyond level 6, right? Like, basically, in a position like this, you can just kill this guy for free. It doesn't even matter, right? I do kind of stay back here because I know the Kayn is here. Like, they basically go into my jungle, and I know that they're here, so I wait around a bit. And a great way you can tell whether, like, junglers are here or not is just by looking at the behavior of the champion. Like, this is, like, an extra tip for you laners, right? Look here. Look at, like, let's look at the vision I have, right? I have no idea through vision that the Kayn is here, but I do know by how this Sett is playing. Look, he's auto-attacking the minions. If you're a guy who just got murdered like that, would you be hitting the minions like this? No. He would only do this if his jungler was there to help him. And you kind of have to read the body language of your opposing top laners to tell whether the jungler is here or not, right? And like it's very obvious that maybe you guys haven't seen the whole game, so you wouldn't know if he would do this. But it's like the second the Kayn is gone, look at how back he plays, right? Like he just starts like I'm holding the same kind of position here, but he just starts playing like a mile away from the wave now, like he's supposed to be playing, right? I've successfully read through his body language that he's basically just, his jungler was there, right? And that's the kind of things you want to do. Like, if you avoid a jungler gank like once like this, then the jungler won't really like coming top again. And this basically leads to the Sett being free food for us, right? We just poke him down horribly, right? If he tries to CS, just slap him with that damage. Just destroy him with that damage. And now at this point, we just murder him, right? I kill him with under turret here. Yeah. E R W R. Or I guess, yeah, IWQR. He tried to flash and ult me, but like he tried to do that cheese thing I warned you about flashing you into his turret. But like I had my flash anyway, and he just basically got murdered, right? Now, if you aren't able to murder a Sett this much, and he stays even in lane with you, he's gonna be able to like stand a better chance at 1v1ing you after he finishes Bork, right? And once he finishes Bork, you want to basically change up your playstyle, right? Because if you haven't stomped him by now, and he gets Bork, his 1v1 just becomes so much better against you. In all the examples I've said before, we basically beat the Sett by being able to kite him around like the dog he is, right? We don't actually beat him by 1v1 fighting him, right? What Bork does is it gives them all the slows they need to make sure that the Sett can just like beat you in melee range and you can't kite him, right? The Bork slow is insane. And the slow is actually the reason why Bork abusers were so difficult for us to deal with, right? The 12% health damage was bad enough on its own, but the slow really made it hard to outplay these players. And it's no different for Sett, right? But on the bright side, when a Sett builds Bork, he's basically way worse in teamfights, right? And this basically lets you just shine in teamfights and just destroy his team, right? Because when he has Bork, he's not tanky enough to make these kinds of plays. Like he can get one shot, whereas you still have your full power, right? You don't have to go for it. He basically goes Bork so he can survive against us in the 1v1. We don't have to do that. We just have to play as normal, and we'll be as strong as we are. And there's it's just a top diff out of nothing, right? And that's kind of exactly what happened this game. Whereas I basically just kept murdering this guy. He keeps going for Bork, right? He keeps going for Bork because to kind of survive in lane against me. But I start working with my Talia more, and I eventually end up getting a pentakill because of how fed I get and how I work with my team better. And he's basically just a useless champion, right? Here is an excellent example of a trick you can use, not just against Sett, but against many of these champions, like let's say Sett, Vladimir, Kale, let's just look what I do here, right? So I'm getting beaten up. Do you see what I did there? I basically one-shot him before he could W. And this is just through clever usage of our E, right? If you're up against Kale, Vlad, these champions, or someone with Zhonya's, someone who can avoid your damage, avoid your ultimate, or block it, then the ideal thing to do is to pull first and then one-shot them during the duration of the pull. I mean, you can't do this against someone like Tryndamere because he can use ult no matter how stunned he is. But against Sett, I knew that my ult did 1000 true damage, right? And he was at around 1.1k-ish, right? So I pulled auto attack and R, and I one-shot him before he could even get his W out, right? And that's a very, very powerful trick that you can do against Sett players that not a lot of them can actually counter properly, right? So yeah, that's how you basically, that's the trick against Sett's shield, right? Keep in mind that Sett players like to go so much damage that it might get like a bit difficult to 1v1 them later on into the game, but keep in mind, once you're at 3-4 items, it doesn't matter what the Sett has built, you will always have enough damage to beat him, right? Because he doesn't do enough damage to just kill you, right? And you're tanky enough so that you can get more and more abilities out, more and more Qs out, more Ws out, and even if though he has Bork and he has that 1v1 power, he still can't beat us, right? So like, I can't really get an example of a late game 1v1 against Sett because, like, late games don't really happen that much in higher elos, and even if they do, it's just about these 5v5s and all split push fights. But keep this in mind. If you're 1v1 against Sett in side lane late game, you will beat his, like, face in, right? You will beat that meathead's face in, and, you know, Ghost just helps us in that case as well. So, yeah. In conclusion, right, you basically just want to use your Ghost very, very, like, effectively. Right? You want to use your Ghost efficiently, you want to, like, kite him properly, you only want to attack him when you, like, you know, don't just trade alt attacks with him, right? Attack him when your cooldowns are back, you know, and try to make sure that you, like, don't get hit by his W, right? Aside from that, like, you know, just land your Qs, right? Those are kind of all the hints that you need to know how to beat the Sett matchup. Anyway, guys, this was it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'm planning on doing a lot more of these know your enemy videos once I get the VODs. So let me know, like, basically go in this comment section and write down what champion you want next. And if somebody else has already written that champion that you want, go like it, right? I will probably look at the most liked comments rather than, like, just counting the comments myself. It helps me, it basically is easier for me to, like, conceptualize it, right? Because, you know, I get a lot of comments sometimes. So yeah, let me know what champion matchup you want next. And that's pretty much it. Like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.